Good morning, Huey fans. So, as promised, we're going to do our first ever Conspiracy Theories Huey Cast. And today is May 17th, 2022. If you guys are just joining us for the first time in the channel, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you feel like it. And if you want to help support the Artistic Flight team, please check out our website, www.artistic-flight.com, or just Google search Artistic Flight. And if you guys want to save some money on a side note and you're interested in the Maxflightstick products, check out maxflightstick.com. And if you guys want to save 7% on any items, enter Artistic Flight, all one word, at the checkout at maxflightstick.com. Save yourself 7%. Anyways, without further ado, I'm going to jump into the Huey here. We'll just do a quick introduction to what you guys are seeing here. This is Digital Combat Simulator, flight simulator from ED, or Eagle Dynamics, I believe. We're flying in the UH-1H Huey helicopter, which is a single engine turbine. And we won't talk about that too much because our main topic today is going to be the conspiracy theories, and you guys might want to get your tinfoil hat out before we get going here. And don't mind me, I'm just going to readjust my screen. It should be better. And we'll get this started once we get flying here. And on a side note, we got a bunch of cows hanging out, and we'll start talking to. I put the cows here for a reason. Due to one of the conspiracy theories we may cover briefly today, due to the global food shortage. And okay. I'll bring some weapons here just in case we happen to fly over some targets.
Request rearming.
Oh, apparently they're not going to rearm. Okay. Oh well, guess we won't bring weapons. So, I'm just going to start this up here. We'll get flying, and we'll start getting going here with our first subject. And I believe the lights came on in here. I'm going to turn those off. There we go. So it takes a few minutes to get this started here, so bear with me. And we'll get flying here, and we'll start getting into our first subject. And I'm going to turn this on. We'll get these compasses synchronized real quick. For those of you who fly the Huey already, maybe check out some of my other videos if you guys are interested in tutorials. This one here is going to be probably strictly a chat and fly. And without further ado here, I'm going to start this thing up. We're about 4 minutes in already, so we'll try to get her going. So since we mentioned our first subject here is the global food shortage, or the upcoming global food shortage of 2022, 2023 up. Let me know in the comments, what do you guys think about that? Have you heard about it yet? And are you guys starting to stockpile food? Or are you not worried in the slightest? So with the war in Ukraine and Russia and the shortage of pretty much everything right now we could think of. Let's start with their shortage of diesel. I believe there's going to be a rationing on diesel soon, from what I heard in the pipeline, so hopefully that's not going to be happening there. Alright, we got no bodies in the back. So if you're a truck driver, you may know about this already. If not, then maybe I'll open up some can of worms. And once we get flying here, we'll get right back into the subject. And I'm just going to take off here. I'll do a quick hover check and we'll get going. On a side note, before we get going, the scenery here is we're on the Black Sea area in Georgia, on the capital of Tbilisi. So if you guys are curious where we're flying right now, that's where we're at. And I'll get going here. We're pretty light since we have no weapons, so looks like we got almost full fuel. Got a long time for these topics. So the global food shortage, some may say it's planned, some may say there's just a whole bunch of things going on out of coincidence. Just quite a few coincidences happening right now if you take a look in the news. I was watching another podcast the other day, and they said within about a year there's been 18 or so food manufacturing plants that have mysteriously either been burned down or airplanes crashing into them. Just a little strange, to say the least. But things do happen, and you never know. So I'm quite open either way, and my tinfoil hat's ready to poke little holes in it, let steam out if need be. So what do you guys think in the comments? Do you think this food shortage is planned? Or do you think maybe paranoia is fueling the fire? On a side note with that, we have some countries halting exports of certain key essential food ingredients such as cooking oils and wheat. And then you have China on the other hand, apparently stockpiling massive quantities of food, which is a little disturbing. But they do have quite a bit of people over there, so I mean it could just be somewhat of a coincidence again. So let me know in the comments, what do you guys think about the global food shortage, the shortage on supplies for manufacturing, and which leads us to our next topic here, which is going to be inflation. So I live in Canada, and I don't know if anybody knows that we're one of the larger gas producers in the world. We have the Alberta oil sands. For a quick little tutorial on that, where we extract some fuel, and there's quite a bit of processing involved there to clean it up. Every so often you hear the environmentalists out there talking about it and stuff. But anyway, we do have quite a bit of fuel, and we could technically lower our fuel prices here to subsidize our the population. Not sure what word you want to use there, isn't it? Last I checked, we're paying over $2 a liter average now, close to getting up to $2.50 a liter in British Columbia, which is, seems to always be a little bit more out there for everything. And if you guys are living in BC, let me know how you guys are doing at the pumps. Are you guys adjusting your lifestyle to cope with fuel costs? Or do you guys not bother at all worrying about it? And so with the fuel shortages there and inflation, I believe well, hopefully I'm wrong. It seems like this is going to have a snowball effect, which is going to make pretty much some products maybe inaccessible in the upcoming year or so with the supply chain issue. And I'm going to turn on this de-icer before we freeze our pitted tube on the other note there. If any pilots know what I'm talking about. It's a little gauge there. It lets wind into the system so you can track certain avionic systems here. Anyway, we're going to try to cover a bunch of topics here since this is our first Conspiracy Theory Huey Cast, episode 1. And let me know in the comments what you guys want me to cover for topics. If you liked the Conspiracy Theory episode 1, we'll definitely do more. We'll probably do more anyway. And then hopefully we'll have enough need and followership there that we can continue to have many, many, many episodes in the months and hopefully years to come. Which leads me to another topic. The possible threat of nuclear war and World War III. It's a little crazy, people blatantly tossing around nuking each other threats and nuclear tidal waves and all kinds of nuclear Armageddon. But I really don't think there's anyone gonna win in that situation there, unless for some reason the technology has significantly changed so the bombs are maybe less dirty and cancer causing. We'll quickly go over the nuclear subject there. I watched a bit of it growing up in the 80s, 90s, as we were slowly phasing out the Cold War era. So with the nuclear winter, we block out the sun and you have nuclear fallout and it irradiates the ground, and if you're lucky enough to escape all that there, where you have to technically remove so many inches of topsoil every year, and you probably aren't going to be growing on it anytime soon. So hopefully that never happens. And it would be nice to see some peace across the world, and maybe we could somehow not use nuclear weapons. That would be awesome. Or maybe you're pro-nuclear war. Let me know in the comments. What do you guys think? Do you think the Great Reset, which is our next topic, is a good idea or not? So with the Great Reset, I'm not sure if they're still advertising their slogan, "You'll own nothing and be happy." I believe that was in the World Monetary Fund website. You're wrong there. Where they say 2030, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. Now, these people usually don't joke about stuff, so I'm a little concerned with that. Or they may have a timeline leading up into that. So, disclaimer here, this is my personal opinion coming up on the Great Reset, and this is just how I think things may roll out. So don't quote me on any of this. This is just what I think may occur for the Great Reset. So we're 2022, and we have the beginning of the war here in Ukraine, which, in my opinion, I believe it may escalate to the entire European and the Pacific theater, slowly creep across the Atlantic. And hopefully that doesn't happen, though, but in my weird conspiracy theory mind, I do believe it's an option there for some of these world leaders. Because you have to take into account these people are rich, they have bunkers, they have stockpiles of food, personal security, weaponry, a whole bunch of things there where you can recover there quite easily after a nuclear war. I'm sure they've been planning this for years, how to recover. And so obviously I'm not going to be anywhere near accurate on my estimates here, because everyone's got their own magical creativity in their mind. So let's say 2022, we roll in, we've got Finland, Sweden joining NATO, which is going to completely make Putin lose his mind. I'm going to go on a limb and say maybe Turkey might try to block that with their veto, which would be quite interesting to see. A random country veto for a change. I'm not sure how many times they've vetoed before in the past, but anyway. Let's just say their veto fails. These countries join NATO. Russia's real mad. NATO moves in anti-ballistic missiles on the border. Russia moves in all their nuclear weapons on their borders. One thing leads to another. And we'll skip a few years ahead, hopefully. Maybe not. And somebody decides to push the button there, and we're most likely going to have forward attack submarines, first strike capability, which they're pretty deadly now. But let's say it happens. Let's say they plan it all. They want the world to go to New World War III. So this is how I'm leading up back into the Great Reset. So it's quite easy to do a reset when your world's quite devastated there. And it'd be quite easy to collapse the financial economy and do a reset on that as well at that point. And then we'll own nothing and be happy, because then they're going to cull us all into controlled, tight-knit cities. And be highly controlled and surveilled. Taught what to think, what not to think, what to do, what to wear, what to buy, when to work, when to sleep. And let me know in the comments, do you think I'm way off my rocker? Or do you think it's a possibility there? I'm going to be somewhat brief on some of these subjects, because we'll have a lot of more in-depth conspiracy theory Huey casts coming up, hopefully in the future. So if you guys want to help support us on a side note, please join, go to our website, artistic-flight.com, grab the digital download there for $10, and you'll help out the team. You get a little PDF on the Huey that we made up a few months ago, and make something to show for it. $10 Canadian, help us out. We need to get some video editing software here soon. Make these videos look a little prettier, maybe a upgrade on the computer, make things run a little smoother graphical wise. But anyway, I don't want to push that too much. That's up to you. If you find this helpful and entertaining and you have extra money to spare, you want to help maybe buy a copy or help towards the digital editing software, feel free to download that at artistic-flight.com. And we only have one digital download up there. It's right on the main page. Scroll near the bottom, you'll find it. And that helped us out. So feel free to do that. And if not, you can just like the channel, follow, subscribe, maybe make a comment, do whatever you got to do there. Maybe watch a few videos, debate it. Maybe add one to your favorites, like whatever you got to do. But anyway, so with the Great Reset and the monetary, so long story short, World War III, collapse of the financial system, mass population density loss, which make it easier to control less people. And they've been talking about population control for a long time, but I already think they're working their magic with I don't know if you guys have heard about it, where the fertility rates are declining significantly across the world. Now there's a couple of factors that could cause that. Could be people are more educated, sociological factors, which I mean thinks are a whole load of bull boo-coo malarkey. But you got other things there where people have been warning us for years about fluoride in the water. Whole bunch of other things there. And it could just be maybe people are watching way too much porn. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think the fertility rate's going down? Are you seeing it around you? Are you guys not having babies? Are you still having babies? Let me know in the comments. Do you think I'm off my rocker again? If you think these are just other conspiracy theories that may or may not really keep you up at night. But if you look at some of the figures there, some of the families having less kids on average, even in some of the third world nations there where they have quite a few children. That which leads me to another conspiracy theory here. Oh, I'm really not sure what word I'm going to use to describe this. The feminist movement, I'm not sure what wave they're on now, but let's say the current feminists in 2022. Don't get me wrong, I do believe that females should be equal, and the current feminists there, I don't think there's any equality to that, if anything. If you guys watch some of the stuff there, it's just wild. But I'm thinking some of this stuff there is maybe another reason why people are having less babies, because dudes aren't going to have any of that. Traditional males who want a wife to take care of the child, maybe in the home, if it's affordable. Like, it's not like the guy's going to go and chain the lady to the kitchen or anything, which is obviously not normal. I'm sure some of you might find that funny, but what do you guys think? Do you think feminism is dividing or uniting? This is my opinion. I've seen far more division lately than unite, or coming together as a whole. But I guess it comes back to the long lost story of divide and conquer. Divide and rule, whatever the term is for that. It's much easier to control people when they're fighting amongst themselves than when they're united against a common cause. Let me know in the comments. What do you guys think? I think men and women have the equal rights that they fought for, or the women fought for, I should say. These men kind of already had some decent rights. Now, we could argue that they're still somewhat unequal, which is true. If you look at certain industries specifically, like teaching, nursing, childcare, obviously women's studies, stuff like that. Higher concentration of females in those businesses, and maybe a dude going into that industry would probably earn less than a woman. What are your comments on that? Now, on the other hand, we have men-dominated industries like the military, the construction field, plumbers, most hard, heavy labor outdoor jobs. Not saying there aren't females in there, which is great to see that. But there's always two sides to the spectrum. I think we forgot how to agree to disagree at some point. Maybe in the somewhere there in the 90s, things started going downhill on that. Now, we're going to cover this next subject really quickly here because it's a really even more controversial than others. So, if anybody knows what I'm talking about here without going too much into details, feel free to put the like out there. But there's a guy named Dinesh D'Souza, and please correct me if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Came out with a new documentary there called 2000 Mules. And it just basically, it goes maybe a little into depth there, maybe a little private investigation into some of the questionable activities that took place during certain ballot boxes, during a certain election that was quite popularized in the last couple of years. But as a Canadian, I don't really have too much depth or knowledge on that, because I could go on all day about our elections up here and our current leader. That's for another Huey Cast to go into details. And let me know, what do you guys think? Do you like Ultra Mega Man? Which actually makes me remember the joy of playing a Mega Man, which was an awesome Capcom game. Which will briefly talk about another quick topic here at Conspiracy. What is up with all the woke go broke? Capcom, you're coming out with a Resident Evil TV show, and you completely slap the fan base in the face. Okay, so I played the original Biohazard renamed to Resident Evil on PlayStation 1, the Director's Cut, PS1, PlayStation 1, and our main characters were Barry, which hopefully they didn't change him too. We got Chris Redfield, Jill Valentine, I believe, and the one we're going to talk about most here quickly is Wesker. So, without ruining the whole storyline of Resident Evil, Wesker, kind of a villain, and he was a white guy. So anyway, new movie, he's black, so apparently a lot of fans are PO'd. I'm not even going to bother watching it. I watched the trailer, and I don't know what's going on with that. I agree with some of the comments. That's what is going on with the trailer. Can't really understand what's going on there. But no, it looks almost like a really low budget. Not all the movies are that bad, like sci-fi movies where they're third-rate actors at best with poor directing skills. Not all of them, obviously, but you know what I'm talking about. Not much thought went into it. Maybe a bunch of people complained about certain things and certain demographics not being covered there, but you know, a lot of the greatest movies I've seen are before the 2000 era, I'd have to say. Before all this, I don't even know what to call it. Just certain people want to add certain things to movies that may have been lacking in the past, in their opinion, which kind of ruins movies because you're taken away from the storyline. I'll give you an example. We got Thor. Apparently it's going to be a female. Captain Planet. Used to be a dude, it's now a female. What else? Batman. Is that a Batwoman? I don't know. Anyways, I won't go on too long on the subject there. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it's a bad idea? Do you think it's just garbage? Do you think the trend will end, or do you think it's going to go more wild there? But anyway, leave a comment, or let me know if you want any other subjects covered here that we haven't gone over yet. And let's see here, about 30 minutes in, try to start making our way back to the airport, cover a few more subjects. And I'm just rolling these off the top of my head, so if I kind of roll from one to the other too quickly or spend too long on another one, it's you can blame me there, because I kind of rolled into this here without a script, so it's all straight off the head there. Bear with me. I do not have the tinfoil hat on now because the VR headset's on. And we'll talk about the VR real quickly. We're flying on Oculus Rift, the CV1, the original release from Facebook there, 2018, I believe, 2017, 2018. And if you guys are looking into VR, check that out. And I believe it's going to be, well, I know it's going to be the future of aviation training anyway. Maybe drone flight, RC flight. That's if we don't have World War III, but you never know. It could still have all this after World War III. Hopefully we don't, but I think humans are kind of destined to repeat some of the mistakes of their past, especially when we're ripping down monuments and changing history to suit the needs of the common folk. May or may not be a good thing, but I believe this kind of happens over time, and libraries burn down and books rewritten. That could be a conspiracy theory in its own. What happened to the Library of Alexandria? Or maybe the Vatican has some of these books that they're hiding? Maybe not. Who knows? I think a lot of this is a conspiracy against the church. And I'm not going to go too much into details on that, but very, very anti-Christian sentiment lately I'm seeing. It's just a little disturbing, because we're supposed to have freedom of religion, which I saw completely go down the tube here in Canada when we were arresting preachers for preaching in their churches. A sad day when I saw that. Very, very, very sad. Now, I understand that there's some sort of sickness that was going around, possibly, where they were limiting people's interactions. But I don't know, man. People really want to get together and worship and take the risk. I think people are responsible enough for their own bodies, make their own choices with that. And we won't cover that too much, because we're leading into another subject here on that body, my choice, which could be the, what are your thoughts on the abortion? Now, clearly I'm not a female, so I can't go too far into detail on my body, my choice, because I do believe in the science I was taught in the 80s and 90s that a man, a traditionally born man, at least at this point in science, cannot have eggs fertilize a baby and produce a baby in that womb after asexual change. Now, you can be born a woman, change yourself to a man, and then say you're pregnant, but you're not really a man. Anyway, I don't want to go too far into details with that. Not too sure how free we have speech on the subject up in Canada either, so anyway, what do you guys think on that? I'm sure we got onto the gist of it. Are you pro-choice or pro-life? And let me elaborate on that. So say there's two options. You got the responsible female, okay? Rare, by the way. I'm not saying they're not. They're obviously responsible girls out there. So she's on contraceptives, she's on birth control, she asked her dude to wear condoms, fall out, blah, blah, blah. And something happened, she got pregnant. So she was at least trying her due diligence there. Now, at this point, I'm still a little skeptical though. I'm on the border with this one. Let's say within 48 hours. Take a morning after pill just to be safe. So I'm not sure how quickly the eggs fertilize and that gets in the embryo there to officially form that, but let's say we'll give her to just 72 hours. You had birth control, you used condoms, you still got pregnant, so you took a morning after pill. Now maybe some of you aren't that responsible. You're in the middle and it took you maybe a month or so to find out. Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking at that point you might have to own up to your responsibilities. Maybe if there's a medical issue. I don't know. And then we have the other side of the spectrum. The girls who are irresponsible and think that they can use abortion as a form of birth control. So, no birth control, no condoms, getting cream pies, get pregnant, and then they're like, oh, I'll just get an abortion. That's kind of unreasonable in my opinion, but everyone's got their own opinions, so maybe at some point we can have a responsible conversation in the chat about that, if you feel up to it. Maybe too taboo for you? Who knows? What do you think? Now, on my personal opinion, I think once you got the baby in you, right? You're a female, like a naturally born female, you're pregnant, you found out, and it's been, say 2-3 months or so. I'm thinking at that point there, you might as well just deal with it, bite the bullet, have the baby. If you can't deal with it, give it up. And that's the problem. These girls probably will get attached to it, don't give it up, and then they'll be all mad at the end there, but you never know. Let me know in the comments. When do you think it's too late? Because clearly at 9 months, you're obviously a murderer. Because if they could take the baby out of you and have it breathing on its own, yet you decided to kill it anyway, you are a murderer. And you, at that point, the doctors maybe should end yours as well, in my opinion. That's for every opinions. Let me know. What do you guys think? Because clearly they're going to find an abortion somehow if they really, really, really want to. I'm not going to go into details on that, because there's some wild people out there. Anyway, I won't talk about that too long. Get me going all day here. We're trying to roll through these subjects really quickly here, so we're going to come in for a landing here, and we'll wrap it up there with one more subject. I'm trying to figure out what comes to mind next here. We'll roll through a few of them on the landing. What do you guys think about JFK? Did he know too much? Was he going to spill the beans? Do you think he got assassinated by the CIA? Do you think it was Lyndon Johnson that killed him? Do you think it was just random, happened the way that they said? And if you guys follow JFK and the speech that he gave before his assassination there, well, go listen to the speech. There's no way my words could do that justice there. Anyways, JFK, speech to the world with the New World Order, all that kind of stuff there, and maybe even some of the presidents just post-World War II, warning about the military-industrial complex. And I do, however, have nothing against the military. I would love to join one day when I see that it is an appropriate time. And obviously that's pretty much one of the few places I'll be able to apply this Huey in real life. Mind you, there's Bell 205s elsewhere, but what do you guys think? JFK? questionable or not? Let me know in the comments. We could do another Huey Cast, or yeah, Huey Cast Conspiracy Theory Episode 2. We can cover a lot more subjects there that we didn't go over in this one. On another note there, what do you guys think about the flat Earth? Well, I'll just leave it at that, and we could probably do a whole show on that one. Do you think we've been to the moon? Or was the moon landing completely foobar? Let me know in the comments. As I've looked into that, apparently they filmed the majority of that on Earth and then just re-edited it for when they got on the moon there, but who knows? Questionable. Big Bang Theory. I think it's a big joke, unless you say God did it all, but what do you think about that? We could do a whole show on the Big Bang Theory, evolution of man, which is always somewhat associated with that subject. I don't believe in the evolution of man. The only thing that would make sense that we evolved on Earth is if we came from another planet on the Ark, on an alternative sideline story to the one in the Bible there. And well, I think we'll leave blood for an entire Huey Cast subject. And let me know in the comments, what do you guys think you want me to talk about? What do you want me to focus on for maybe the whole show? And we're still going to do other Huey related stuff there as well. And Huey learning tutorials, Huey flights, combats, flying with friends. Hopefully upcoming soon we'll do some multi-crew with a whole bunch of shenanigans with people all over the world in the same Huey at the same time. Please like, subscribe, follow the channel, help support the team. Check out our website, artistic-flight.com. Grab the download there, $10 Canadian. Help us out. We're going to get some video editing software soon here, do an upgrade, make things look prettier. I thank you very much for your time if you watched the whole video. And if you guys are interested in learning how to fly the Huey, please check out some of our more upcoming videos. Or if you're on Facebook, join the DCS Huey group. And there'll be quite a few people in there that'll help you out. And anything you want to know, I'm sure there's someone in there that can help you out. And I'm going to come in around here and we'll land by these cows. And shut her down, hopefully with a couple of moves at the end. I appreciate your time. This time is valuable commodity. On a side note, before I forget, we're flying with the Maxflightstick Huey 2022 set. We have the pedal, cyclic, and collective replica all on one USB, which makes controlling the helicopter that much more enjoyable. And if you guys want to save 7% on that, or maybe think about it, go to Maxflightstick.com and enter Artistic Flight, all one word, at the checkout to save 7%. And hopefully in the future we'll get you some more discounts, different companies, different manufacturers, and help you out with that. Just going to shut this down real quickly here. So thanks again for coming. And we'll have plenty of more videos to come on the conspiracy theory file. Please leave a comment. Any subjects you'd like me to cover, as long as they're somewhat appropriate and not subjects where you already know that are already super taboo, that are going to get things flagged. So I'll try to do what we can to satisfy the needs of the many, because they do outweigh the needs of the one. As Spock, God rest his soul, Leonard Nimoy once said in Star Trek. Anyways, thanks again. I'll have this video up here for you guys pretty soon. And 17th of May 2022, and we'll get a whole bunch of followers, and we'll make this thing happen quite often with the conspiracy files. And on a side note, if you guys are in DCS and you're in a mission editor, feel free to remember to add some cows. Always make things more entertaining, and I'm looking forward to the day we can sling load cows. And that'd be awesome. Anyways, thanks again. I'm gonna hop out of my simulator here and run across and shut this down. So on my way out here, feel free, website, visit that, download, help support the team, artistic-flight.com. If you're a Huey pilot, want to get into the sim, digital combat simulator, or DCS Steam Edition, or DCS Huey Facebook group, check it out. Hopefully you guys have a great day, enjoyed the flight, enjoyed the chat, something different, and I've been looking forward to making this for a while now, so hopefully you guys enjoy it. And hopefully you guys have a great day. Hopefully you guys fill the pantries with food, just in case. As they say in the Scouts, best to be prepared. I'm pretty sure that's where that's from. And I'm gonna get out of here. We'll get out of your hair. Hope you guys will get back to having a great old time. And maybe open a can of worms there, and you get the tinfoil hat on. You guys go Google a whole bunch of things there on YouTube and get into conspiracy videos, support some other channels there. Anyway, hopefully in the future here we'll find an easier way for me to end this without running across the room as well, on a side note. So thanks again. Thanks for your time. God bless you. God love you. As Don Cherry would say, have yourself a great day.